Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you episode 40 of my brand new comics haul series. This is a series where each and every week when I head down to my local comic shop and pick up the new comics, I show you guys everything I got and tell you a little bit about every single issue. So I am putting this video out a day late. I was just a little busy yesterday, so I didn't quite have the time to film, but I did have the time to pick up my comics from the LCS, and it was a really bizarre week. I actually only had one issue on my pull list, which was from Marvel, but then I ended up picking up a bunch of issues off the shelves. I ended up in total with 6 issues and a collection, so I'm going to be showing them all off, but now that we've got these comics out of the bag, we got to get the bag out of the way. Alright, now that that's over with, let's get right into these brand new comics. So this is going to be something completely out of the ordinary, but I actually picked up 2 issues from DC this week. I'm not a DC reader. I've never gotten anything DC besides like 3 issues or 4 issues that I tried out for Future State a few months ago, and I got a couple like sort of Elseworld stories. The first one here is Dark Knights of Steel issue number 1 of 12, and this is actually my most anticipated issue of the week. I found out about this a few days ago. I'd sort of known about it, but then I was realizing this is really cool. Dark Knights of Steel is basically like an alternate universe version of the DC universe. It's set during medieval times, as this awesome cover might suggest. I think like Batman and Superman are brothers or something. Batman is literally the Dark Knight in this universe, which I think is pretty cool. But it is written by Tom Taylor, who's completely known for his alternate universe stuff, and it's going to be 12 issues. The art is by Yasmin Putri, which looks really detailed, like almost a painted art style. It looks really awesome. So my hope is that this is going to be a good jumping on point. I've got another series here that hopefully will be 2 that I'll show off in just a second. So that's my most anticipated issue of the week, Dark Knights of Steel number 1. And next up this week, like I said, I did get one more issue from DC. This was actually from last week, but they had plenty of copies left on the shelves, and I was thinking about getting it, so I thought, why not? I got DC vs. Vampires issue number 1. Like I said, this is another alternate universe DC story. It's also 12 issues, and this one is written by James Tynion IV, one of the biggest names in comics right now, co-written by Matthew Rosenberg, and then the artist is Otto Schmidt. It's basically, I think, just like, DC versus Vampires, as the title might suggest, in this alternate universe so that they can have bigger stakes. They can kill off characters and stuff like that. And I've heard that this really does have to do with, like, DC's whole arsenal. A whole bunch of the biggest characters all uniting. That's kind of the cool thing about these alternate universe stories from any publisher, Marvel or DC or anyone else, is that you can do anything on a really big scope. It's not going to matter in the end, because these universes most likely aren't going to be revisited, but it's just a fresh start. You can kill off as many characters as you want, or do whatever crazy stuff. So I'm really excited to try out some DC stuff. Like I said, let me know what you guys are thinking of all of DC's comics lately, and what you think I should jump on board of. I might end up trying out a couple series. So that's DC vs. Vampires number 1. And next up this week, let's move on to Marvel Comics. I've got 2 issues from them this week. One was waiting for me, the other one I picked up off the shelves, but they're both tie-ins for the Death of Doctor Strange event. And the first one here is Strange Academy Presents The Death of Doctor Strange, issue number 1. I'm giving this one my award for the best creative team of the week, because this one is written by Scotty Young, who's the main guy who always writes Strange Academy, one of my favorite series from Marvel, but one that's been taking a lot of breaks lately. They're supposed to get back to regular monthly scheduling next week, actually, with a new issue, but this is just a one-shot that's mostly focusing around these 2 characters on the cover here, and also the rest of the Strange Academy school in the wake of the death of Doctor Strange. The artwork on this one, though, for at least the first 20 pages, this is an oversized issue, is by Mike Del Mundo. I did hear that Strange Academy is, taking a hold, not letting kids into the school until all of it is resolved, because the death of Doctor Strange has opened up all of these, like, portals, basically all of these, like, mystical realms that Doctor Strange was protecting Earth from all this time have just been completely split open, and the world is in chaos. I'm excited to see the fallout of that. We do have, like, a bunch of, like, one-pagers focusing around different students by different artists, some kind of big names also. That's Strange Academy Presents The Death of Doctor Strange number 1. That's a long title. And to finish it off with Marvel this week, the other Death of Doctor Strange tie-in that I picked up is Death of Doctor Strange Avengers number 1. So they just had some copies on the shelf for this one, and it was sort of a light week, so I just decided to pick it up, because why not? I'm not going to be getting all of the Death of Doctor Strange tie-ins. A lot of them are actually focusing around characters I'm, like, not that interested in, like the Black Knight, what's her name, like White Fox, I think, and and a couple other characters. I probably will get the Ben Reilly Spider-Man tie-in, but not much more than that. But I'm also giving this issue my award for the best cover art of the week. The cover here is by Steve Skroke, and that awesome cover there where you see like the kind of like the biggest four members of the current Avengers team going off against some sort of huge juggernaut. This one does have to do with Juggernaut and like Cyttorak. You know, you've heard of like the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak, that spell that Doctor Strange casts and other magic users cast like to hold people, to bind them, but then it also has something to do with the Gem of Cyttorak, which is what powers Juggernaut. We'll see what they do with this tie-in. It's probably not going to be important in the long run, but it could be a good issue. That's Death of Doctor Strange Avengers #1. And next up this week, let's move on to Image Comics. I picked up 2 issues from them this week, plus a collection that I'll show off at the very end. The first one here is Newburn #1. I didn't ask for this to be set aside because it didn't look that good to me, just based on like the cover and the description, but I've heard really good things about it, and I thought it'd be a good idea to at least try this first issue and see where it goes. Just, you know, give the series a try. It is written by Chip Zdarsky, one of the biggest writers in comics right now. It's always good to try out new ongoings from these big names. I've heard this like already got optioned for a TV show. I don't understand how that works. Are these like you know, film producing companies like always looking at these comics, or do they get like PDFs of them before they even come out? Who knows what the deal is with that, but this has something to do with crime. It's like a noir storytelling, you know, theme, and I've heard that it's a little bit different than a lot of Chip Zdarsky's work lately. It's less lighthearted and more of like a serious comic having to do with this like private eye investigator. If I really like it, I'll pick up issue 2. So that's Newburn issue #1. And now for the final single issue that I picked up from Image Comics today, I've got Primordial issue #2. This is the variant cover by Gabriel Hernandez Walta. I'm not completely sure if I'm going to want to continue on with this series though. It is only going to be 6 issues, and while that first issue was really intriguing with like the weird 4th dimension stuff going on, this strange place that all of these different space animals that they sent into space before humans, you know, the idea is what happened to them? What if they survived? And I've heard that this issue specifically focuses around Laika, that Russian dog who was supposed to have died in space just like the other animals, but just following Laika's story. This is actually like, has pretty much no words in the whole issue, which honestly I don't appreciate. It doesn't matter to me how good the artwork is. I mean, I like good artwork, don't get me wrong, but if there's no writing, that's just a little bit lazy, right? They might as well just put the artist's name first before the writer if the artist is doing all the work here. The art is pretty amazing though, by Andrea Sorrentino. It is written by Jeff Lemire, so if I really like this issue, I'll continue on with it, but this is definitely on the brink of me dropping it. We'll see how it is. Let me know what you guys are thinking of Primordial so far in the comments. That's Primordial #2. And to end off this bizarre comics haul episode, I got one collection from Image. I've been looking forward to getting this one for a couple days. This is Friday Book 1, the first day of Christmas. This collects issues 1 through 3 of Friday, this I guess kind of recent series. It's written by Ed Brubaker, and the art is by Marcos Martin. I mostly got this for the art because it looks really awesome in here. Take this off the stand, it's kind of crumpling it. But this series Friday was actually originally published online on this website called Panel Syndicate, which was founded by Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martin. They published some sort of series there originally, because that's the cool thing about Image, is that you know, the creators own their properties of the characters. So these creators can just take these characters they've created somewhere else and then just like publish the issues under Image in print. And the series is actually supposed to have something to do with like these 2 kid detectives. One of them is coming home from college and then they meet each other again and try to solve a case. While that premise doesn't sound very good, the artwork looks really amazing. It looks like it could be some sort of horror story having to do with the holidays. I don't know. It looks good to me. I still have to read it though. And let me know what you guys have thought of this series if you've been getting it on Panel Syndicate before it came out in print. Alright, well that's every single one of the brand new comics that I picked up today. I want to know what you guys got though. Let me know down in the comment section below. It was definitely a really weird week for me. I wasn't expecting to be able to pick up that many issues off the stands, but all of those issues that I had in my head that I was sort of hoping to get, I got every single one of them. Definitely a good week. I'm excited to try out some DC stuff. Let me know what you guys are thinking of Dark Knights of Steel and DC versus Vampires. Can't wait to get into both of those issues. So if you enjoyed this video, or if you got some good info from it, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell. We're inching closer and closer to that 200 subscriber milestone. Would we be able to make it to that milestone by the end of the year? That's up to you guys. So that's everything from me for today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye, guys.